Cork Talks Back. Rewind.
Speaking to your mates, you should be telling them as well about the Cork to Galway Pfizer cycle for Chernobyl, which is happening on the 17th and the 18th of June. It's the 9th annual one. And Anne Masterson and Niall Kennedy joined us. Morning, guys.
Morning.
How are we?
Very good.
Everybody's awake and fresh?
Oh, raring to go.
I put on my awake and freshness. It's not coffee and juice or anything. It's just I can just turn it on like collapsing at 12 o'clock. Now, speaking of collapsing, this is a hell of a cycle. Cork to Galway. First, Niall, if I start with you, how long mileage and kilometres and how long are we talking?
Well, it's about 180 kilometres in total, but
right.
Don't let that put you off. Yep. It's basically we cater for all levels of cyclists.
Right.
We have pit stops along the way.
Right.
Like we leave from Cork, and it's a 2-day event anyway.
Yeah.
So we have an overnight in Limerick,
right.
so you can recover from the first day before
Absolutely.
you head for the second day. And each stage is no more than 32 kilometres.
Oh, very good.
So it's and you get a good rest at the pit stops. Then you get your food and
right.
and refreshments and a bit of massage if you need it.
Very good.
And on to the next stage then.
Sure.
And it just the whole day rolls out, and by the time you know it, you're in Limerick, and the next day you're in Galway.
Brilliant. So all told, obviously it is a 2-day event, but then how long should it take? I mean, all told, when do you expect the first people to start crossing the line in Galway?
Well, what we do is at each pit stop we regroup.
Right.
So that helps the guards to get us through the towns and that. So when we come into Galway, usually around 4:30 or 5 o'clock, we'll all regroup at the Merlin Park Hospital car park just outside Galway.
Okay.
And then once we're all there, usually about 5:30, we go en masse then into the city.
Right.
And this year we have something special coming up as well. We're after tying up with Galway City Council.
Right.
They're after getting the franchise to organise a National Bike Week for Ireland.
Brilliant.
And it just so happens that the day they're launching that is Saturday the 18th of June, which is the day that we'll be coming into Galway. So we're going to be part of that as well, like 400 cyclists all dressed the same, coming into the city, which is being closed for traffic around their square, and all the festivities that will be going on there as well, you know.
Okay, and this is the 9th year now for the cycle race. When did it start out? I mean, obviously 9 years ago, but what was the take-up like then, and how has it kind of compared, and as you guys are kind of literally rolling into your 10th year now almost?
Yeah, that's right. 9 years ago we only started out with 60 cyclists, so
right.
It was a small enough number, but even back then we raised €35,000,
right.
which went directly to the building projects even back then. Last year we had 320 cyclists, and this year we really look forward to welcoming 400 cyclists this year. So I think with the amount of publicity that we're getting this year and people, giving us the great feedback from last year as well, I don't think we'll have any bother raising 400 people now this year.
And of course, last year you raised a phenomenal €185,000,
yeah,
which is unbelievable amount of money.
And it's fantastic. Like, we have great corporate sponsorship from Pfizer, hence the name, the Pfizer Cycle for Chernobyl. We also get corporate sponsorship from EMC and DSI Technologies, which are based here in Cork. And because of that sponsorship, we were able to tell the cyclists that every single cent that they raise goes directly to the building projects out there in Belarus.
Okay, and of course, as you mentioned, that it's the Chernobyl Children's Project, of course, charity led by our very own A.D. Roach as well.
That's right, yeah. Since 1991, when A.D. Roach set it up, we've been able to send out over €73 million to the Chernobyl affected regions. We have different programmes that go on out there. We have cardiac programmes, nursing programmes, hospice programmes, which provide care for the communities that are out there. What myself and Niall have been involved with, especially Niall over the years, has been the building and construction programmes, something we're very proud of. And a lot of people, fantastic volunteers from all over the country, have gone out to Belarus to help the people out there.
Brilliant.
We have the Vesnova Children's Orphanage, which has been completely refurbished. The children that were found out there years ago, were living in complete dire circumstances. They had no sanitation, heating, they weren't being fed properly, they were completely malnourished, and because people have gone out there and refurbished the whole place, children are now living in better conditions and are living longer in the orphanage as well.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, right, I'm going to run for news, lads. We'll tell people how we can get involved and how they can raise their own couple of quid and help out as well. Right after Cork's REDFM 10 to news. Michelle with the latest. Right, just to continue on our conversation regarding the Chernobyl cycle from Cork to Galway, which is happening on the 17th and the 18th of June. On your bike, literally. Anne Masterson and Niall Kennedy are in the studio with us. Guys, just before we get to, I suppose, how people can get involved and literally get on their bike, for June. You've both been out there. If I suppose if you can give a description of the work that actually does go on and what you've kind of seen, and I suppose for a lot of people who may not be aware of what the conditions are really like on the ground out there.
When I went to Saltanovka first, which is the Adult Mental Institute, 2 years ago, and I was just shocked at the conditions that are out there. It was very overwhelming. You have to get used to the sounds that are over there, the moans and the groans from the people who are in pain, literally in pain every day, and just the smells as well. And I suppose the support you get from your fellow crew members is really what pulls
That's probably
you through.
something you never get used to, but those kind of sounds and smells, which you may never, you're not going to hear them here, for example.
No, even on my third trip over now, it's still something you still have to get used to. You know, the first couple of days every time you get over there, but you do get a lot of support from people that you go over with, so it does help.
Does it get easier every time you go back?
I don't know if easier is the word. I think you don't even get used to it either, because you're shocked. There's something shocks you every time when you go over there. You know, the sanitation, the facilities that they are living in, the conditions.
How kind of poor are the conditions?
Well, they have absolutely nothing. They're in the same sort of clothes every single day. You see them walking around the courtyard, and they're nearly dazed, going around as well, and it's so cold. They've no heating. The food that they eat is just despicable. You wouldn't give it to a dog, you know. So it really is. It's horrendous what the conditions they have to live in. Okay,
Niall, some of the work that you've been involved over there as well, and kind of some of the stuff that's going on. I guess the plans over the next 12 months as well now for over in that neck of the woods.
Yeah, Anne mentioned the conditions. That's where we come in. We have the skills and the people to go out there and improve those conditions. Like the accommodation block we were working in Saltanovka, it was basically the structure itself was strong enough, but it was falling down into disrepair, like a broken wall, wooden frame windows, drafty, faulty heating systems, electrical systems that would be, to say the least, pretty dangerous. Like, so we go in, do a survey and plan out what we need to do, select a crew from Ireland, all Irish builders, volunteers, raise the money through the cycle, and then go out there and then just renovate the whole thing, like from top to bottom, floors, walls, ceilings, electrics, plumbing, and just give them a better place to live. Like, sanitation would be one of the biggest things. Like just basic requirements that we take for granted, like showers and toilets, etc. Like, theirs would be falling apart, and they still have to use them. They have no choice. Like, so we come in then and we change all that, and it gives them just a bit of dignity and a bit of comfort in the miserable kind of life that they have,
I suppose an awful lot of us take, as you said, a lot of those kind of the basics, like a shower or clean running water, just for granted.
Absolutely, we don't even think about it, but to them it's a major thing. Like when they get it, like, But one of the main things that you don't realise when you're out there until you go out there is that even though we're doing all this for them, we've been told by a lot of people out there, like the people who run the orphanages and the directors and all that, like that, the very fact that there's somebody somewhere else gives a damn about them is as important as that actually doing the heating or fixing the lighting and stuff like that. It just that somebody cares, like, it gives them a bit of hope, like,
It must be rewarding, and as well, when you do come home and you kind of think back when you went over there, what was there, even if you go back a number of years and you kind of look now, or you look back on what you've done in a couple of weeks. It must be rewarding in some capacity to come back that, you've done some right to people who can be very easily forgotten about.
Absolutely. Like, I suppose when you get to look back at everybody's photographs that they've taken over the 2 weeks, and you see the before pictures and then the after pictures, and it's phenomenal what the builders give up for 2 weeks. They give up their time and they go out there and they have to give up their 2 weeks wages here, which are hard enough to come by, and absolutely, they go out there and they do that completely, for the good of other people.
Okay, guys, for the Pfizer cycle for Chernobyl, June 17th and the 18th, it's Cork to Galway. For anybody that's listening that literally wants to get on their bike, how do they go about it? What do they need for sponsorship? And I guess everything to get involved, because there'll be a big kind of a hoo-ha and a shindig, big kind of festival vibe going on when you guys are taking off on the 18th, which will be from City Hall, yeah?
Yeah, from City Hall. City Hall in Cork at 10 o'clock on the Friday morning. The most important thing, if you do want to cycle, is to get registered early. Now, the only way to register is through our website, chernobylcycle.com.
Okay.
And go on there. Excuse me. The registration will be going live on Friday morning.
Right.
We have a media launch in Cork tomorrow night, and after that, then registration will be available. You just go online, click the register now button, and follow the instructions, and you're there. Once you're registered, then you give in all your details, pay €50 deposit, and you'll get a sponsorship card out in the post the following day. And after that, then it's up to you to do the training and collect the money.
And you
obviously.
probably will need training, because I know it's kind of only going to be in 30 kilometre spots, but still, you're not going to get there in one piece if you don't do a bit of training.
We, as I said, we cater for all fitness levels, and we do get all fitness levels, but a sensible level is expected. Like, it's still a 2 day cycling. Like, if you can't get on your bike on Friday morning and expect to cycle to Galway the following day.
Absolutely.
Gentle training to start with. Like, what we'll be doing on the website, we'll be putting up suggested training programs for people who haven't started cycling or just thinking of starting cycling. Right. We have advice from, like, if you're going to buy a bike, we have bike shop partners that help us, help us on the support team on the weekend, like Kilgrew Cycles in Kyle Street. They come on, they give us mechanic support every year for free. There's no charge. They call into Brian inside in Kilgrew's, and he'll sort you out with a bike or any advice that you need, like, and bring your sponsorship card with you, and he'll give you a 10% discount on that as well.
Very good. And of course you've cycling legend as well, the one of the only Sean Kelly.
Absolutely delighted to hear that, to get Sean Kelly supporting us this year. He's going to come out to the launch, and he's going to launch it tomorrow night down in the Heineken Brewery, and he'll be cycling with us on the weekend as well. I can assure that will bring in a lot of cyclists.
Brilliant stuff. Anna Niall, thank you very much for coming in. So the 17th, it all kicks off in Cork, the Pfizer cycle for Chernobyl, and you can register from Friday morning at chernobylcycle.com.
Chernobylcycle.com, that's the one.
Brilliant stuff. Thanks for coming in, guys. It's Cork's REDFM.
Cork's REDFM. Cork Talks Back. Rewind.